Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of Nerds with this breaking news story. My fellow nerds, the Academy Award nominations for the 85th Annual Academy Awards, kind of redundant, have been announced. And as such, I deem it only worthy to address you, the masses, with the Academy Award nominations. I think, do I get points for saying Academy Awards in a certain amount of time? Because I think I might win something this time around. Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode of The Cash Flow. I am your host, G Money, and you guys are probably wondering, dude, you just had a show the other day. Why are you back on already? You promised you'd do more shows, but this is ridiculous. Well, simply put, guys, the other show I was talking about the upcoming things as far as gaming. I mentioned movies, but I never actually found the time for them. I got carried away with the video games. And with the amount, if you guys saw the stack was about this high, you couldn't blame me. So I figured, you know what, I'll do another show where I'll talk about the upcoming movies of 2013, and on top of everything else, it was really apropos and fitting that today, this morning, they announced the 2013 Oscar nominees, which is pretty cool to have right here in front of me. So I'll talk about those, as well as some of the big movies that we as nerds have to look forward to this year. So I'm not going to go through all of these, by the way. I'm just going to go over the main ones and talk about some of the movies, but nothing special. So, I'll make a couple of comments, but don't worry about it. I'm not going to go haywire with it. First off, I want to address one big glaring issue that people are going to have with these nominations. The Dark Knight Rises is nowhere to be found. Now, if you guys don't know, the team behind The Dark Knight Rises was very much into trying to get Academy Award nominees, or nominations better yet, for some of the things that they did with the movie. I'm thinking best cinematography, best production design, perhaps best director, or best picture, where I think what they were going for. And sadly, they didn't get anything. I guess they didn't bribe enough people to get money to put in there, or however it's done. Anyway, so that's a little bit upsetting because I personally thought that Tom Hardy deserved some sort of acknowledgement for his wonderful performance of Bane, and not talking about he did such a great job where you couldn't understand him, because subtitles really do that movie so much more justice than anything else. Watch The Dark Knight Rises with subtitles, you'll get a lot more out of it. But I thought it was really cool how he had to play that entire character of Bane with mainly his eyes. And that was a very, very hard thing to do. So I figured he would deserve some sort of acknowledgement for that. But, I'm not Hollywood royalty, so I can't make those decisions. Anyway, Dark Knight Rises has no nominations, which is really sad. But one of the other 2012 superhero movies does. And with that, without further ado, let's talk about these nominations. For Best Picture, you've got the ones that are mentionable are Life of Pi, Lincoln, and Django Unchained. Not to mention also Zero Dark 30 and Les Miserables. Now, of course, in this case, I'm excited to see that Django Unchained got a nomination, because that movie's pretty cool. Life of Pi for personal reasons, and Lincoln because I think that Steven Spielberg just had this movie in him for I don't know how many years, and this is awesome, the fact that it's got all the nominees it did. For that matter, on that note, Lincoln leads the Academy Awards with 12 nominations, followed closely with 11 is Life of Pi. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, you got those. And then we're going to talk about the Best Actor nominations, which is pretty cool. You got Bradley Cooper, the guy from The Hangover, and Face from the new A-Team movie is nominated for Best Actor in a serious role. How cool is that? That's cool. Pretty Boy got a nomination for Academy Awards. The guy I think we can all pretty much agree is going to win the Academy Award for Best Actor is Daniel Day-Lewis for his portrayal of Abraham Lincoln. It's almost a given he's going to win, but it's to have other nominees too. And in this case, you've got some pretty cool people here. You've got Hugh Jackman for Les Miserables. The Wolverine is nominated for an Academy Award. Come on, every nerd's got to find that cool, right? Either way. Then, Joaquin Phoenix is nominated for The Mask, which is cool. I'm glad he did that movie instead of playing second, because he was actually second in line to play Bruce Banner in The Avengers, which thank goodness Mark Ruffalo knocked it out of the park. So he's nominated for Best Actor as Joaquin Phoenix. And lastly, a personal favorite of mine, Denzel Washington is nominated for Flight. This goes to show, for the movie Flight, I still want to see it. But the fact that Denzel Washington is nominated for Best Actor in that one just goes to show you that while he is a great actor, even with, I guess almost a subpar director sometimes, he needs a good director sometimes and a very good script, which coincidentally is also nominated for Best Original Screenplay to get these kind of, I guess, responses, which is pretty cool. And ironically enough, both Daniel Day-Lewis and Denzel Washington will be going up for their third Academy Award. Now, if either one of them win, hey, there you go. Then, we have actor in a supporting role. Alan Arkin is nominated. This one is cool. Robert De Niro is nominated. That's just cool because Robert De Niro is like an OG. Philip Seymour Hoffman is nominated for, I think, for his second Academy Award. He won it for Capote a couple years ago. Then my homeboy Tommy Lee Jones, Men in Black himself, nominated for Lincoln. And of course, the guy I personally would love to see win is Christoph Waltz for Django Unchained. The guy makes a movie with Quentin Tarantino and gets an Academy Award. I chain here. He won for Inglourious Basterds, and now he's nominated for Django Unchained. That's pretty cool. Then, for actress in a lead role, I think we're going to have some foreign winners here. You've got Zero Dark 30, Silver Linings Playbook, Amour, Beasts of the Southern Wild, and The Impossible. Now, the nominees are Jessica Chastain for Zero Dark 30. Then, of course, Jennifer Lawrence, Miss No Facial Expression from The Hunger Games, Katniss Everclean. She's nominated for Silver Linings Playbook. But the one I think is going to win is one of the foreign ladies here. Now, I apologize beforehand if I messed the names up. There's Emmanuel Riva and Quinzilhan Wallace. Now, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the names. Naomi Watts is also nominated for The Impossible. Now, that's pretty cool. I don't know who's going to win that one, but I'm going with the foreigners just because I do believe a lot of times that actresses outside of the U.S., most of them have a better chance of winning these. Actress in a supporting role. Now, I have a personal vested interest in this because if one person wins off of this, it will really legitimize one of the big summer blockbusters coming out this year. In that case, Amy Adams is nominated for The Master. Now, why is that important? Because Amy Adams is Lois Lane in Man of Steel, which I'll get to later on. So that's pretty cool. And Anne Hathaway is nominated for Les Miserables. Now, that's pretty cool because, you know, I mean, she didn't get the nomination for Kevin, but she got the nomination for Les Miserables. So that's pretty cool. Then, Best Animated Feature. Now, come on, we all know that Disney tends to win these bad boys come hell or high water. And this time they've got a double chance because they've got two movies in there. You've got Brave and Wreck-It Ralph. Now, Brave, I honestly didn't think was that impressive because it was just such a letdown in the fact that there was no character development. The main character didn't learn anything, really. All she, in the end, you figured out it was all the mother's fault. The mother had to adapt to it, suppose. Like, come on. Yeah, that's good. Teach kids that it's all the parents' fault. Not good, not good. Frankenweenie and Burton is up. Paranorman, Pirates, Band of Misfits, and Wreck-It Ralph. Personally, from a nerd standpoint, I'm wanting Wreck-It Ralph to win this one because that's just pretty damn cool. Then you've got, let me see here. Directing. You've got Ang Lee for Life of Pi, and of course Steven Spielberg is nominated for Lincoln. I'm going between one of those two. That's who I'm guessing is going to win. Let's see here. Film editing. Obviously, this is another one that Michael Kahn is nominated for. Michael Kahn, if you don't know, Steven Spielberg's in-house editor, so he's obviously always nominated when Steven Spielberg is nominated, and always fun. Then, makeup and hairstyling. Rob is nominated, and if you have seen anything about this movie, you know that that's pretty much the winner. The other nominees are The Hobbit and Hitchcock. Honestly, I don't see anybody else winning that one. Let's see. For original score, the very obvious John Williams is nominated, which I guess is obvious he's going to win. I guess, my opinion, I don't know. Then, original song. Now, this one is fun because it actually has Seth MacFarlane, rich boy is I don't know what, with 15 shows on television, hosting the Oscars, and has his Oscar nominated for Ted. Ted, one of the funniest movies of the year, is an Academy Award nominee now. Now, that's just cool. And then Adele is nominated for her Skyfall song with the new James Bond movie. Okay, that's fun too, I suppose. Then, short film animated. Now, this one was another interesting little tidbit. Maggie Simpson in The Longest Daycare. Now, I'm not sure what it's a little short film that was in front of the recent Ice Age movie, which accompanied it, and it played before the movie. And that's pretty cool to think that The Simpsons are now an Academy Award nominated kind of a thing. That's cool. I don't know. I think that's just cool. I'm sorry, it is. Anyway. Moving on, we've got sound editing, sound mixing, visual effects. Now that, of course, is obvious for what movie would be in there. That would be The Avengers, because it was one hell of a spectacle to see that movie, and that's pretty cool. The Hobbit is obviously nominated as well. Life of Pi, which again is interesting. Now when I mentioned Pi earlier, the reason why I have a vested interest in Life of Pi is because one of my coworkers' sons worked on this movie in some shape, way, or form, and he said he developed the sky, which is pretty cool to think about. If you think about that, you know, that's a very visual movie, and you know, so I'm sure his department is nominated somewhere in these Academy Awards. So that's pretty cool. Then what some people would deem the tremendous letdown of 2012, Prometheus, is here nominated for Best Visual Effects, as is Mouth-Breathing, Kristen Stewart's Snow White and the Huntsman. And then lastly, we've got the adapted screenplays, which, you know, if you know any of these guys, that's pretty cool. But original screenplay, I want my man Quentin Tarantino to win for Django Unchained. That's going to be pretty damn cool. So, those are the Academy Award nominations that are worth mentioning here on the Cash Flow that have appealed to the nerds in us. And lastly, let's talk about the overly awesome movies in 2013. We've got some big stuff coming, mainly superhero ones I'm going to talk about here. First off, we've got The Wolverine. If you haven't read, let me see, where is it? Here it is. If you haven't read The Wolverine, which Chris Claremont and Frank Miller, check this out, guys. You won't regret it. It's really, really cool. Wolverine goes to the Orient, to Japan, with messing with samurais and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. That's coming out. And if Hugh Jackman wins the Academy Award, it'll be an Academy Award-winning movie, or an Academy Award in the movie. That's cool. Then we also have I'm personally looking forward to this more than anything else, is Thor: The Dark World in November, which I thought that Thor was the best movie that led into the Avengers, because I thought it was the hardest one to create a tangible style and life for and all that, but you know, Kenneth Branagh pulled it off amazingly. Chris Hemsworth personifies that character, and I can't wait to see what they do next with it. Then you've also got the other Marvel hero coming out, or I guess now it's Marvel's go-to guy in Iron Man 3, or as I prefer to call it, Alcoholics Anonymous 3. And I will break this down real quick. I'm not a fan of Iron Man or the Tony Stark character. He's an alcoholic, flawed hero, yes, but at all the end, to me, he's just a Bruce Wayne knockoff with an alcohol problem, and I'm a fan of alcoholism, or for that matter, people who abuse alcohol. So quite frankly, I'll see Iron Man 3. I'm excited about where it's leading as far as Avengers 2 is concerned, but honestly, Iron Man 3 can go suck a monkey's nipple for all I care. And that's just my personal opinion. Then, the most anticipated movie, one of the biggest movies of the year, is Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, we all know that J.J. Abrams has his finger on the so-called nerd pulse when it comes to Star Trek. If you remember Star Trek back a couple years ago, that movie was awesome. And I remember the tagline, "This is not your dad's Star Trek." And that's true. That movie was awesome. And the reason why this new movie has got so much hype behind it is because it's villain. Because we still don't know who the villain is in regards to his character. Played by the guy from Sherlock. I forget his last name now. I think his name's something Cumberbund or Cumberbatch or something like that. But apparently he's a total BA. And he actually, if you've seen the trailer, he crashes the Enterprise. Now, it doesn't get more badass than that. If you can crash the Enterprise away from Kirk and Spock, you're badass. You're like in the hall of badassery already. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Then, the other movie, and the most excited for, I just can't wait. Man of Steel, obviously, is huge. Cannot wait to see that. Henry Cavill is a new style of Superman. Zack Snyder's directing it. Christopher Nolan's producing it. The stars are aligning for this, and if I've said it before, I'll say it again. The hype behind this movie reminds me of the hype going into the Batman movie of 1989. Now, granted, I was too damn young to remember what was going on in 1989, but I remember everywhere I looked was that symbol. I do remember that. I was young enough to remember that, but I don't remember anything else. But, so that's it, guys. Those are the big movies of 2013, along with the big Academy Award nominations. We're not going to do much longer here because I know I test your guys' patience. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to. Anyway, that's all for this time around, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, comment below. Let me know. Subscribe, dislike, whatever. Your voices are appreciated. Let me know. We'll do more. We'll do less shows, what have you. Anyway, until next time, this is G Money telling every last one of you, ladies and gentlemen, the president has left the building.